From Wits and Weights, I'm Philip Pape, and this is Nutrition Science Daily, bringing you the latest in nutrition, fat loss, and health science, all in under 5 minutes. We've often talked about visceral fat, the fat stored around your organs, belly fat, as a major risk factor for metabolic disease like diabetes and heart disease. But new research suggests its impact goes beyond the metabolic, linking visceral fat to an increased risk of Alzheimer's disease. Let's explore how this connection works and what you can do to protect your brain health. And I have a very personal connection to this because there is Alzheimer's in my family, and I have some genetic variants that give me a higher likelihood of developing it. So listen carefully if this is important to you. Visceral fat is the deep abdominal fat that's metabolically active, meaning it releases inflammatory compounds into the body. Chronic low-grade inflammation is one of the primary mechanisms believed to contribute to the development of Alzheimer's. A study published in Nature Metabolism analyzed data from over 10,000 participants and found that those with higher visceral fat levels had a significantly higher risk of cognitive decline and dementia, including Alzheimer's disease. But why this connection? The answer lies in inflammation and insulin resistance, which are two hallmarks of visceral fat. Inflammation can damage brain cells and impair communication between neurons. At the same time, insulin resistance, commonly associated with visceral fat, can affect the brain's ability to process glucose, its primary energy source. This combination creates an environment that accelerates brain aging and increases the likelihood of Alzheimer's. Now, what's really concerning here is that visceral fat doesn't always correlate with body weight. You can have a quote-unquote normal BMI and still carry a significant amount of visceral fat, which is why measuring your waist circumference or using some form of body composition analysis, but I think the waist is actually a really good one, can provide a more accurate picture of your health risks. We talk about body roundness, body fatness as more important than your overall scale weight. I mean, when you look at folks that have a lot of muscle mass, they're higher in weight, but they're much healthier. They have lower visceral fat and body fat in general. So what can you do to reduce visceral fat and protect your brain? Here are 4 strategies that I wanted to share today. The first one is having what I'll call a healthy diet, and this is always a loaded topic, but basically having a whole food-centric diet. Now, if you go back and listen to yesterday's episode about ultra-processed foods, you kind of get the idea. Shifting from a lot of processed foods to a lot of whole foods is going to be a massive improvement, even if you still have some ultra-processed and indulgences in there. But having, foods like olive oil, fatty fish, lean meats, lots of colorful fruits and vegetables, high fiber, high protein, all of these are going to be super supportive of your body in general. They're going to reduce visceral fat, support your brain health, etc., only because they allow you to control things like energy balance and body composition. Number 2 is being active both with strength training and with movement. And I wouldn't do just one or the other. I definitely wouldn't just walk, for example, or do cardio. I would prioritize strength training and then also be active in general and avoid sitting around a lot. But whether you like walking or running, cycling, whatever, along with strength training is going to be highly effective because you're going to be an active person with a high energy flux. You're going to have good blood sugar control, better insulin sensitivity, blood flow to the brain. All of that stuff is going to be massively helpful. Number 3, prioritize sleep. Poor sleep quality is linked to increased visceral fat. We know this. We know that individuals who just are sleep deprived and in the exact same calorie surplus as someone who gets plenty of sleep, they're actually going to store more of that fat in their belly. So getting sufficient quality sleep every night to support your body and brain is important. And then number 4 is managing stress. Chronic stress, we know this increases cortisol overall, leads to an accumulation of visceral fat. And then, any practice that can keep the stress in check is going to be helpful. So it's important to remember that reducing visceral fat is not something that happens overnight. It's small, consistent changes in your diet, in your lifestyle, in your training and movement that's going to lead to this over time. So at the end of the day, all the same lifestyle changes I would normally recommend to improve your health, your energy, your physique, your body fat, everything is going to be beneficial here. There's nothing special. There's no magic extra thing you need to do. Just do these things. Now, the link between visceral fat and Alzheimer's just adds another layer of urgency to why we have to manage our health for longevity and take proactive steps to keep that visceral fat in check. All right, if you found this episode helpful, follow Wits and Weights for more evidence-based strategies to optimize health and longevity. Share this episode with someone who's working on their own health journey or concerned about Alzheimer's, and let's keep the conversation going. Next week, we'll dive into lots more fascinating topics, so follow the show if you want to make sure to get Monday's episode, and I'll see you then.